All right, let's go to the hotline and Joe Mack. Hey, buddy.
What's going on, Dave?
Nothing much, man. Appreciate you calling in today.
Wow, it's good to talk to you. Get a little retro rewindage in there.
Well, thank you very much, man. It's early where you're at. Did you get any sleep last night?
I did. I'm not one of those guys that stays up all night so he can do his morning interviews.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good.
So bear with me.
No problem. We got all the time in the world here. Well, at least until you say, "Hey, gotta go." But we'll talk about your new CD first, man. It's on your own label. It's called One Too Many, live from New York. How's that going?
It's great. It's an acoustic set. It's me and my buddy E-Man, and we just did a 20-city tour this summer, and it's when I do this show, we call it a one-man show with two people, and it's very intimate. Anything goes. We do old stuff, new stuff, stuff that hasn't been recorded, and it's a lot of fun. And that situation is just makes for an intimate show and a lot of fun, and so I'm happy that we have it for all time on a CD.
That's awesome. You guys are like riding fools, aren't you?
Well, we try to be. I mean, sometimes songs come easier, and sometimes you got to work for them. And we're actually in the studio right now in LA working on my next studio album that I'm really happy with. So when it happens, it's a great feeling. But you really just gotta show up every day and be committed to the whole process.
And that's awesome, and I know you are very committed to that process. Like for instance, "Stay the Same," which was a top 10 hit about maybe 4 years ago. That didn't you release that like on your own level first?
Yeah, I released that on my own first. I went to record companies, but I wasn't hearing what I wanted to hear, and it's a tough business. So I realized I had to do it on my own, and like everything, you gotta believe in your own stuff first, and then people will stop, believing you. And that's kind of what happened with "Stay the Same," and that was a great story. And then, it got picked up by Columbia Records, and it was a top 10 record and a gold single and all that good stuff. So it was great. And without doing that, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Absolutely, certainly gives you something to push for, knowing that you did it before.
Absolutely.
With your own name, you didn't. I don't think there really was much New Kids baggage or help at all from that. That was a Joey Mack thing, man. All the way.
Yeah, it was cool. But had a lot of help and a lot of support from good people. So it was a nice thing. It was a really nice thing.
And your album from last year, Meet Joe Mack, got a lot of critical acclaim. I happen to love the album, and Rain was just one of those songs that captured. I don't know. It was well written and well produced, and I think it should have been bigger than what it was.
Well, in this day and age, it's like it's not easy to have a hit record, and we kind of went. I was on a new record company, sort of a newish record company, and the state of the business now with some really big record companies and how tough the business is now. Not that it always hasn't been hard. To break through in an independent way is can be tough. But I mean, Rain was a great song, and I still love singing it in concert, and I wouldn't change anything. You want everything to be a success, but success comes in different ways, and it can look different than having a number one record. That's not always success can be different. So and it's led me to where I am right now, and I'm pretty happy where I am.
Absolutely, I can see why. So the live album, Joe Mack, pretty much just acoustic, as you're saying. I think a lot of people may not realize how well you perform live, and I'm noticing some things here. Do you cover some of these songs, like from U2 and Cyndi Lauper, Fleetwood Mac, or is it pretty much just all your stuff?
Well, it's we do some of my stuff, and we do a couple of new kids tunes because the crowd, you got to give them a little candy from back in the day.
Yeah, that's right.
And but I grew up in the '80s, and groups like U2 and Cyndi Lauper and Fleetwood Mac, and they were just that's what I grew up with, and they're just great songs, and it feels good to sing them, and they came out pretty well. It's when you can connect with the song and the emotions there, and you can relate to it, I think it makes for good music. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Absolutely. Now, I have just learned today that so far you can buy this in stores, but you can also buy it off of your website, joeymcintyre.com. You've sold, 6,000 copies so far just off the net?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool, and it's fun, to do it on your own. I mean, you certainly make a lot more money that way, but it's just funny how it works. You could sell, 1 million records, but never recoup with the big, companies.
That's right.
But you sell, 5,000 records, and it's a cool business. I mean, I've been really fortunate, with the new kids. I made a lot of money, and
you earned it.
Yeah, and it's been good, and but I look at it, I really don't do things, to make money, but the business wise, just to see how it works and have your own record company is very interesting, and I'm glad it's a satisfying experience for me.
And you know what? And that's a cool thing for artists that have been established, such as yourself, because you know who else is doing something like that? Prince.
Yeah.
And, let me talk, I'll tell you about racking up the loot. We interviewed him, he's like...
Right, no question.
He was really happy.
There's nothing wrong, it's just, it's cool to be with one of the big record companies, but at the same time, there's just so much baloney you have to deal with, and creatively, you just want to do your own stuff, and that's kind of where I'm at, and a lot of great artists. I mean, Jonathan Brooke and Amy Mann, and there's a lot of great artists, and of course Annie DeFranco is like the queen of independence,
Yeah.
And a lot of great artists are doing it on their own, so it can happen.
It's cool that you are, man. In a way, you always have, really, since you've left New Kids, and then it's not your fault that some of the bigger arms in the business wanted to embrace you, so, it's a good problem to have, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your acting now. You are on a hit show on Fox, and it's called Boston Public, and lo and behold, you're from that area, aren't you?
Yeah, I grew up. There's a bar on the show called Doyle's, and it's in my hometown, and it's a trip because my sisters used to work there, and I go there myself, and here I am in Hollywood filming a scene in Doyle's, and it's pretty trippy, and there's a lot of great karma involved, and the cast. It sounds like I'm gushing, but the cast and the crew are great there. It's a great place to come to work, and it's really challenging too. We try to deal with some big issues, and TV is a different kind of acting, and I look forward to getting better at it and just learning the process.